Hey y'all, how's it going? Listen, I'm so excited about this. I've been talking about it the last, I don't know, day since I made this up. Many of you know that I just had this idea. That's where everything starts, doesn't it? It just starts with an idea. But I was just feeling helpless and feeling like I wanted to do something in this space. We've got my special guest that's coming. I'm so excited. Y'all, I'm so excited because one of my friends is going to be joining us today. I told you this, I promised this. Let's see if she hops on here. Here we go. Let's see if I did it right. Let's see if I added her right. Oh my goodness, y'all, I'm so excited. We are doing this completely made up imperfect series. Yes! There she
Hi,
is!
friends.
Y'all, everyone say hello to my good friend, Emily Ley. Emily, thanks for being here.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
So I think I told you this in the text, but I didn't even like talk about the fact that you're doing this because I'm like, I don't want this to feel promotionally like this is you and I that just were like, can we show up for people? Can we say hi to people and just spread some love in this space? So thanks for hanging out. Thanks for saying yes to my random text 2 nights ago.
Thanks for having me. I felt it only appropriate to have rainbow balloons in the background because what else do we do right now other than put rainbow balloons up in our kitchen?
100%. 100%. Okay, so Emily, we're totally making this up. I've told my people this. I've told you this. I'm like, literally, I was just like, I want to do something. I want to just show up and spread hope. And this feels like such a dark time, such a kind of storm, you know, where like, feels like really confusing and no one knows what is true and what do I believe and oh my gosh, like what do I cling to?
How do we navigate this? Because none of us have ever done it before. Yeah.
Right. There's no playbook for this. And and I wanted to come, you know, with our people here and not come as like two experts or businesswomen or anything like that and just say like, hey, we're two moms at home with kids.
Yep. Yeah. I told Christy before this, like they might pop in. I've bribed them to go upstairs, but you just never know.
No, I said, please, I hope they pop in. But so we're just going to talk about that. We're just going to talk about like, what is something that anchors you and what does it look like to navigate this time that is so unknown, when it feels like you're grasping at straws. It feels like, you know, competing information in the news, and the moment you can depend on something that changes or closes or is canceled. And but before we even dive in, I had an idea, and this is for you guys watching too. I want y'all to participate in the comments. Let's just start by like, Emily, tell me something good. Tell anything. Just tell me something good. It can be anything. And y'all do this too. Y'all tell me something good in the comments. We got to have some good news. We got to have
tell you something good. Can I share a secret that I haven't even told anyone?
Anything.
I'm working on a pitch for a children's book. I haven't told anyone that.
I love it.
Yeah, and I worked on it today, and it just made me really happy because my kids are going to be involved if it all works out and if I get to do it. And it made me happy today. It's just, you know, I don't know. It was something that was joyful, and I've always wanted to do it, and finally decided now's the time. So that's good. Also, Adobe Creative Cloud is giving away 2 free months of Adobe Illustrator, Photoshop, InDesign, all the things if you've ever wanted to learn it. So there's another one. I had 2 good newses.
That's perfect. My good news was that I washed my hair today. Mine was so good.
I did not do that. So. If you hold a lighter next to my hair, it might catch on fire. It's got so much dry shampoo in it.
It's the simple things. It's the simple things. I love that about the kids book. Let me ask you this. Yeah. Is it weird to, because we're just having a conversation, right? Is it weird to feel that dynamic of being excited about something new and fun and then like live in this world that is not new and fun? You know, does that feel like, how are your emotions right now when you're like trying to be excited about this and you're also in this reality?
Yeah. I learned a long time ago that I can only control somewhat what happens within the walls of my house, and that there's going to be a lot of things that go on outside the walls of my house that I have no control over. And so I think the truth that I've really been like anchoring us in right now is that the cadence of our days, like the rhythms, the routine, the way our house feels, the way it smells, the way that like we're feeding each other, all of that stuff, that's all I can control. Yeah. I can't control anything going on outside of the walls of this house. And we're not quarantined right now, but we're kind of self-isolating, I guess, just to play it safe. And so we've been here for 3 days. We haven't left. And my family, like, we're really just focusing on getting the house organized. I'm really focusing on like making it feel very homey. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like I have a candle lit right now, and I have like we made breakfast this morning and made the whole house smell good. And so, and we kind of came up with a loose schedule for how we're going to do things. And I just feel like the cadence in my house matters a lot right now. So I'm just trying to go on with life as it would be, because I can't control anything that's going on outside of it, or what happens from here. My kids are home for a month at this point. That's what I'm being told.
Okay, so when let's talk about this idea of cadence, because I think that's interesting. I always quote you from when you were with us at the event, and we talk about the topic of life balance, like everybody loves to talk about, which is like a real joke these days.
No
like
kidding.
Everything is out the window.
Right.
But you use the analogy of a bike, and you're always shifting your weight, and you stay up when you do that.
Yes.
And I've always loved that visual. But I think cadence is an interesting word when I think a lot of people, myself included, I thought my house was large until this. Like I thought we had plenty of room. Suddenly those walls are closing in.
They're closing in.
Everyone is very close. You have few places to go. So when you think about like the cadence within, I love this word cadence. Like I want to camp this, okay? Because I want to pull from your wisdom and your knowledge and what you're doing in your own home. Because like we said, there's no playbook for this. So my intention in the next 10 days is just to walk with women and for us to kind of unpack this together and process it together. Like, hey, what's working for you and what's working for me, and how are you getting your bearings, and still having hope and having controlling what you can, that type of thing. Okay, so when you think of cadence on a practical level, like what does that look like? Is that kind of like, I think you mentioned like a loose schedule, and I guess anything too. How is your cadence changed since the kids? It's a new cadence, right? Like it's a new world. So how have you adapted? Because I think a lot of people are still kind of feeling like the rug's been pulled out from under them, and they haven't been able to quite catch up. I don't feel like I have been able to catch up to this new normal. Right. So what are you doing to kind of, what does that look like?
So our kids, they go to school just down the street, usually from like 8 to 2. And so those are my working hours. I work 8 to 2, 5 days a week. It's great. I get a lot done. But I did go through many years of having kids underfoot while I was trying to work and, do it from home and all of that. So I feel like I'm leaning on that a little bit. There's a little bit of scrappiness that comes out in me when things like this happen. Like I feel a little bit like, okay, show me a challenge and watch me. Like I'm
I can do this.
The expert at simplifying and organizing and scheduling, and like now's my time to shine, right? Yeah. Well, Monday I sat down and I was like, this is it. I'm gonna make a schedule. It's gonna be tight. We're gonna have color codes. And it was a dumpster fire. I mean, Monday was like I went to bed crying. It was just rough.
All your efforts to control it.
Yeah, because I was like, oh, watch me. I'm gonna control 2 5-year-olds and a 9-year-old while I work full time. And we have our launch days coming up soon. So we have just a ton of work going on. And then yesterday I said, you know what, I'm just going to like go with the flow today. We'll just see how it works out. We'll do some learning time, some creative time, some outside time. And we'll just kind of like mark the day by like, this is what time we're getting up. This is what time we're eating lunch. This is what time you're having quiet time. That is non-negotiable. You're having quiet time for 2 hours because I have to like bring money into our house to pay the mortgage. So like it was marked by those things. And yesterday was so much better. And we also spent a lot of time outside yesterday. And I think that had a lot to do with it. Like you said,
Florida,
the walls
right?
closing on you. Yeah, we're in Florida. I know everyone who doesn't live in Florida is like, that's nice. It's freezing here.
We're just having the dreariest weather. I was like, I can totally rock this like social distance if I can get outside my house. It's been raining and cold. So that's awesome that you've all been outside.
Yesterday was a lot better. And then today has been even better. Today I gave myself some time to like, hey kids, here are your iPads. Go play them for 5 hours or whatever you need to so I can get the house cleaned up. So I spent some time like cleaning up the house, getting the laundry put away just to get us back to square one, where I feel like, okay, I've got this under control a little bit. And then we made a loose cadence for our days and I wrote it down and taped it on the fridge. And today's been like infinitely better. So I don't know, I'm on day 3, but I feel like paying attention to the cadence, using this time to really like dig into making your house feel homey and organizing it and like decluttering it, that sort of thing. I have to also say that like, if I don't say this, I think I'll regret it. This is horrific what's happening. It's also oddly like beautiful. Some of the things that are coming out of it. Like we're all like, I'm really paying attention to not wasting food. I'm also like really paying attention to, hey, this would be a great time for us to sit down and like watch Harry Potter as a family together. We've been saying we're going to do it, but we haven't. I think we're also seeing the really good side of humanity come out in a lot of different ways. So I'm trying to keep us focused on the good things, looking for the helpers, controlling what we can, and letting God take care of the rest, you know?
I love that. I was thinking, I thought of a TED Talk today that I haven't seen in years. It's by, I don't even know the guy's name, but the essence of it is how it's within limitations that we get really creative. So when you have all the options in the world, all the resources in the world, all the time in the world, you're not really creative because you're not forced to be. It's within limitations, which all of us are facing insane limitations right now, like physical limitations, laws, regulations, social distancing, all these things that are totally wise. But then we're figuring, okay, how do we have a life? How do we keep our mortgage paid? How do we, those types of things within all these limitations? And what's interesting is once you get out of the funk, if you pull yourself out of the funk of like Emily, I'm gonna be honest, all last weekend I was in my pajamas. Like I didn't get out of my pajamas. I was watching the news, like not obsessing over it, but I didn't leave the house much. And I kind of just was like, kind of just stayed home and kind of sulked a little bit. And now I'm kind of like, okay, this is a new normal. It's not gonna last a week. It's gonna last a lot longer than that. And so you can kind of pull yourself out of it and get creative about, like you said, watching Harry Potter or, you know, doing these things that give you some sense of joy, cadence, control, whatever in this new normal. I'd be curious too from you, like I know you are known as the simplicity girl and organized and all the things, like when you have days that are like, I think you said yesterday, where it's like the cadence, the schedule, it was a joke, it was out the window, it was a dumpster fire. How do you give yourself grace? Because I think they're, especially at home, as we're navigating this new normal and we're trying new things with kids and working, and we don't even know what we're doing. We're just trying things. What does it look like to give yourself grace when it's not great? When you don't, you just feel like it didn't work.
You just embrace it. You embrace the disastrous mess of it all. I mean, that's when you put work down, because work can wait. You put kids down. Gosh, sorry, y'all. My mother-in-law keeps calling me.
That's okay.
I'm like, no, not yet. Unless you're working in a hospital or somewhere like that, like work can wait. But you put the work down, you put the phone down, you turn on the TV, you throw the screen time stuff out the window, you find something, you snuggle up with your kids, you get the blankets out, you make a bowl of popcorn, and you just settle in. When everybody, and you know, we had attitudes running wild on Monday too, because everybody was trying to figure out what this, why am I here? Why am I being told I'm doing school in the kitchen? What is happening? And we just gave up. And you know what? I think sometimes just saying like, you know, I'm just going to lean in. It's a disaster right now. We're all just going to hunker down and do something fun, treat ourselves, laugh it off, and then go to bed. And then tomorrow we'll wake up brand new. But for me, like when I feel the stress of work, like, okay, yesterday, my husband came home. I was trying to make chicken enchiladas in the kitchen. Tyler was trying to show me something he had made with Legos. My team was trying to talk to me about an email that we had to redesign for something. Brian came in and wanted to talk to me about something that happened at work. And I just burst into tears because I was afraid, because I was so overwhelmed. And he was like, let's just like take a minute. Let's just all take a minute and like, let's just eat dinner and we'll deal with the rest of it later. So we put all the phones, put all the things away. We had the best chicken enchiladas, and the recipe's in my stories if you want to go find it. And it was fine. And you know, sometimes you just got to lean in, put it down, and come back to it.
Yeah, I love that. Right now, I feel like with having, which you have 3 kids, mine are kind of a little bit younger, but it's like with 3 kids under 5, control is just an illusion anymore.
Right. Yeah. There's like, no.
Conley's got this new thing where when he doesn't like your answer or he doesn't like what you do, he goes to the broom closet and gets the broom, which is like 7 times larger than him, and just comes at you like a javelin with it. He's and I'm like, oh, everybody, hold on.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
But I love this idea of just like laughing it off, because you're like, we're doing the best we can. There's no playbook for this, and we're all doing the best we can. And I think what's good to remember as we allow ourselves to receive grace and feel like, okay, this wasn't great, or this day wasn't great, like it's okay, but it gives us a little bit more, I don't know, I feel like it makes it easier on us to extend grace to other people that might be doing things different than we're doing. And there's a lot of, you know, when anybody's scared, they don't always react great. And so you see it on social media and the news of pointing fingers or placing blame. And I think that it just makes it so much easier to extend grace when we realize we need it and no one has this figured out. We're doing the best we can.
Right.
So it's such a good reminder. And, you know, one of the things I like that you talked about of like lighting a candle and like making your home something that is comfortable, since we're all going to be there a whole lot.
Yeah.
I went out last weekend and just got a couple plants. Like I'm doing the social distancing thing, but I'm not quarantined. I'm not sick and I haven't been exposed to anybody that's sick. So I just went and got a couple plants. And now let's be honest, Emily, I'm probably going to kill those plants. Like I don't keep things alive very well.
I have one plant. Yeah.
I usually do fake plants because I'm not great at keeping them alive. But you know what? I needed something to feel like it was lively in my house. So maybe what are some other things? Let's just get practical for a second, because I love to give people hope in inspirational ways, but also hope in practical ways. What are some things that can help us, you know, just have joy in our homes? We're home a lot right now. Like you're good at this. You got rainbow balloons behind you. Like
I do have we went a couple of days ago. We went to eat dinner at a place nearby, and they had these, and they gave them to my kids, and it's like a whole string of them. And I saw it on social. Yeah. So you know, I think there's a couple of things you can do. Find the blankets you have put away somewhere and pull them out, drape them over the back of your couch or put them in a chair so that people are enticed to come and sit and get cozy. If you're going to the grocery store or having groceries delivered or whatever you're doing, get some comfort food. Get a tub of the cookie dough that you can keep in the fridge. It's like the tub of it. That's the best practice at all times. Literally, like, did y'all see the meme that said, due to coronavirus, my summer body is postponed until 2021?
No, I love that.
That's how I feel. Get some comfort food. You know, if you're, let me think. I think you think about your senses. So like smells. So light a candle because they smell good. It'll make your house smell good. Be responsible when lighting a candle. Also think about
says buy wine in bulk. I love that.
that is also a very good option. Also sound. So listening, turn on some music, just some soft, slow music. That really helps my kids when they're out of sorts. I'll turn on something soft and slow. I even made a playlist on Spotify called Hope if you want to go and listen to it.
That.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's so funny you say that because at dinner time sorry about the music real quick. Yeah. At dinner time, my kids would always want to listen to soundtracks of movies that they like. So like Moana, and then they got into Lion King and some of these things, which for a while was fine, but like Lion King, like some of the songs, it wasn't really made for a soundtrack. So when like Scar is screaming, be prepared, like that just doesn't make me feel relaxed at dinner time. No. So I've stopped all soundtracks during dinner and I only play Norah Jones. I'm like, Alexa, play Norah Jones. But it's like, everybody's like, okay. Like
it just takes everybody down.
I love that.
That's like a baby trick. Norah Jones, the song, Don't Know Why, is that what it's called? It's, if you turn that on when your baby's crying, they will stop crying. I'm not kidding. It worked with all three of my kids. I don't know why.
Her voice is the best. But I love this idea of senses. So like the smells of a candle, your music, your blankets. Yep. I love that.
Yeah, like taste, touch, feel, like all those things. Blankets, pillows, like pull some pillows out. Let your kids build a fort, like if they're, and leave it up. Yeah. I mean, we're stuck. You're not going anywhere. Like, you're not going anywhere. Nobody's coming over to take a picture of your house for a magazine. So, like, just like let your home feel lived in. I mean, I even took our little schedule that I made and their list of chores, and I taped them onto our fridge. Just like settle in. We're gonna be here a while, and I think all those things matter. You know.
I love it. I love that. I love how practical it is too, because like you said. Like, yes, we're at home and we can't control that. I mean, not, quarantine necessarily. Some people might be, but we're there a lot more than we're used to. And our schedules are a lot more clear. So just finding a way to make that a place that feels comfortable. And I love even some of your ideas of just controlling the cadence of your life, even if it's a new cadence, even if it's different and if it's imperfect every day. It gives you permission to do that.
It also makes us feel safe. And like right now, we're all afraid. Especially with kids, I think that routines and rhythms and cadence like that, like the more we can stick to it, even when it's hard, it just makes them feel like, okay, I know what to expect. And it makes us feel like that too, in a time of uncertainty.
I was talking with my friend this morning, my friend Nikki. We worked out together every morning, or a lot of mornings before all this happened.
Yeah.
And I told her, I was like, my house is, this is me being totally honest with y'all. My house is messier than it's ever been.
Yeah.
I'm more unhealthy and haven't worked out. And we're talking about like in the span of a week. So I don't want to exaggerate here. But like what I've realized about myself is I can do 5,000 things. Or 0. Apparently I can't do like 4 because
I tend to be the same way.
My house is so clean when I'm running 1,000 miles an hour. I'm working out every day. Like I'm locked in. And now my schedule is clear. My house is a mess. I have not worked out. Like, I don't know what to do with myself. And so I love this idea of structure, because it's going to take us a minute to figure it out, like you're saying. But once we figure it out, the structure is not only good for our kids, it actually makes us feel safe, in control. Our days are more predictable. We enjoy them more because we have these things kind of like we're saying with Cadence, but like these things to anchor to. And that's really helpful.
I think so too. And I've heard from a lot of people that feel like, okay, I'm in my house now because I have to work from home, or I've been told to quarantine or whatever. And I feel really overwhelmed by my house. We have a free, it's called the Simplicity Challenge. And I can give you the URL. It's emilyley.co/simplicity-challenge. You don't have to sign up for anything or whatever. You just go there and you'll find it. And it's 30 simple steps. They each take under 15 minutes and cost $0. And it's just to help you, like, if you're feeling overwhelmed by your space and you have more time now in your space, it'll help you just kind of kickstart it and get you to a place where you can feel like, okay, I can breathe here now. Like, it feels a little bit more like home, that sort of thing.
Well, I've done some of the things on your challenge because I remember seeing it when you posted on social media. This is like a year or two ago, but it's interesting to me how we are so busy. I think KB just mentioned something about how shows how busy we are normally, that we don't know what to do with this downtime. But I think that's such a good point, because sometimes we're so busy going through the motions and just keeping up with life that we don't question our systems or processes. We just keep doing it, even if we're doing it the hard way, even if we're doing it the wrong way or in a way that makes it more difficult for us. So I remember one of your steps in your Simplicity Challenge that I have started practicing. It really is the most simple thing, but it's like, instead of waiting until your laundry is piled up into laundry mountain, do a small load a day to help stay on top of it. And it's like the most simple idea. Now, Emily, I still don't put that laundry away. Let's be honest.
It's so hard. That's the worst part.
It's a clean laundry mountain, but it's not a dirty laundry mountain. It's just a laundry mountain that has not been put into the closet. But
it's putting away is the hardest.
And now's a great time to think about rethinking those things. You know, what are my systems? What are my process? How could I make life easier on myself? And you have so many great resources. But Emily, I didn't want to ask you to do this because you're the simplicity expert, even though you're just a great friend and you love the work. And I think you're really wise, and I learn a lot from you. And I just wanted to invite some people that are wise that I learn from as we navigate this, and introduce you to my people, and make sure that they know that there's a lot of women out there and we don't have it figured out, but we're doing something and doing the best we can. And you're just such a great model of that. So
thank you.
Thanks for hanging out. Y'all that are tuning in live right now, I would love to just pray for you. Y'all know this is not surprising coming from me, because I'm a believer, but I would love to just take a minute, and I'm going to close my eyes and just pray for those of you that are watching right now. All right, let's go to God. God, we just want to pause and say thank you. Thank you for the breath in our lungs. Thank you for technology where we can connect with each other, even if we might be feeling lonely right now. Even if we might be feeling scared, that we can speak truth and hope to each other and into the world, that brings light, that shows people who you are and reminds people that you've got this and you've got us. God, I want to pray for everyone hurting right now, regardless of how they're hurting or where they're hurting. I just pray that you would show up in a powerful way. Let them feel your presence, and I pray that you would provide for their every need. We're so grateful, Lord, for how you love us. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Emily, thank you. Thanks for being my friend. Thanks for
This
saying
was so fun.
Yes to this.
It was
Thank
good
you
to catch
guys.
up with you too.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and we will see you tomorrow at 1:00. Thanks, Emily. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Bye, you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I'll do this again tomorrow at 1:00. I love y'all. We're going to just keep finding hope in the chaos. Love you guys.